We're here to talk about poly.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, what is it with poly that we want to talk about?
We
Yeah.
can do like, how long time do we got?
Not that long.
Okay. No, I think we all have devices, team certified devices. It's of course the best because they have like a really high standard. But in my opinion, that's actually not that important about the hardware itself. It's much more about how people working and how can we enhance the meetings.
Yeah.
So I brought up a picture here about stand-up meetings. So that's one of the things, because meetings are not always in a meeting room. Could also be like two different locations, and they have like daily stand-up meetings, and we need equipment to actually be able to support that.
But we do have equipment. We have whiteboard, we have post-it notes, we have pens for the daily stand-up meeting.
Exactly, but what if some of your colleagues are on another location, or they might be sitting at home?
Well,
That new flexible work style?
it's a fluke. I don't think it's gonna stick, right?
Yeah.
No, but you have a really interesting solution for that stand-up meeting, because not all meetings are done in a meeting room. It could
Exactly.
be in an open space.
Yeah. So I would say that I tried it myself, being like a part of a stand-up meeting. But when you have a stand-up meeting with equipment that are not really built for that, then you would hear everything in that room.
Yeah.
And that could even be colleagues which are not part of the meeting, but like sitting, just working at a desk near where the stand-up meeting is.
Yeah.
So the interesting part of our equipment is that we can filter out the things that we don't want to be in that meeting.
Yeah.
So we kind of make sure that we only capturing the things that are relevant for the meeting.
Yeah. So this stand-up meeting could be like behind the stage here, and they could not hear us talking.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool, because we're loud.
Yeah, we are.
More me than you, but we're loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like just for the stand-up meeting, like that is supposed to be, I don't know if you all know about Agile, but it's supposed to be 15 minutes every working day at the same time. So it's not like a one-off. This is something that we do all the time.
Exactly.
So tell me more about the setup here for this with your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can use the equipment for meeting rooms as well, but this is just one of the features that we have, that we can eliminate the audio, so we make sure that we only capture the right audio that we want into the meeting room, and that we can have several different ways that we do that. So we can call it AI like everyone else is doing. So we can do like make a virtual fence, so we make sure that we're only capturing audio within that fence. Which means that if I sit outside of that fence, I'm not captured within the meeting room or in the Teams meeting. So that's one thing. And the next thing is also like the field of view of the cameras. They're quite wide because we want to make sure that we can capture a lot of people. But it might not always be relevant to capture all the people, because it could be like people sitting at the desk just working. And since most camera technology, they look at faces and detects faces, often people get detected even though they're not part of the meeting. So I think it's really relevant to make sure that the technology in the camera as well can make sure that they know what is actually important, or what are the area of interest in the meeting.
So then you can create some ad hoc meeting rooms that are out in the open workspace, where someone can actually have like a phone booth, but not a phone booth.
Yeah. Exactly.
God, I hate those rooms. I hate them. Like the air just, after 5 minutes, it's gone, and it's so uncomfortable, and you feel so cramped. I hate those. So then it would be possible to have it in an open space. We put some places up, like this is where we're going to have some meetings. And it's fine. You can come and stand here and do your thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we don't always have those boundaries where the meeting room actually is. We have it in a meeting room, but often in an open space, we don't have those boundaries. But we can do it up and do the boundaries virtually. So you will only get captured if you are within this virtual boundary. And I think that's really important, that we enhance the meeting, making sure that we only capture the people that are interesting for the meetings, and we only capturing the audio that are important for the meetings. So everything else, we eliminate that. So we don't have that, I would say, noise in the background, or we don't have that virtual noise with like people that are not part of the meeting.
Yeah. So people standing around somewhere having a conversation, they will obviously bother the people standing there because that is how ears work. We can't really mute them.
No.
You know, I requested that before, like to mute other people, pause
nice.
other people. Yes, I would love that technology. But we don't have that today. Not yet, anyways. Are you working on that? Are you? We need that.
Can't tell you.
Oh, it's classified. Wow, you can tell me. I will tell everyone.
Exactly.
But so what would the tech be here? Would that be like a screen and a camera and microphone and like is it in the Teams meetings?
Yeah, it will be in the Teams meetings, of course. That's our focus. But it will be like a all-in-one bar, collaboration bar, or Teams rooms on Android. And then you can choose the existing screen or the screen size that you want to have, depending on how many people you're on, how much content that you have. Some even want to have a touch screen so they can do like the Microsoft whiteboarding at the same time. So the product supported.
Nice. So it's like for this, like obviously you do regular Teams rooms with those things, but here you have the virtual, like the flexible, the movable Teams room where you can pull it out in the reception if that would be the thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So what else you got?
I think another thing that is like actually the most important part of a Teams meeting. I think back in the days we always talked about, or we always got questions about what are the resolution of the camera and can we have 4K in the Teams meeting? But that's not really relevant anymore. It's much more about audio. And I would say I would always encourage people to build or create good audio within the meeting room or the meeting area. But we also know that it's not always in the same department. It might be that the IT buy the equipment and then it's the facility that needs to equip the meeting room. So a lot of people tend to think about audio as it's coming from my mouth and it's directly into your ears. But it's basically just waves that bounces off like of glass and hard surfaces. And the technology that we recently embedded into our product is that we can actually remove that reverberation of the audio. So we will remove the reflections of the audio, and then we will only capture the audio directly from the person speaking. And that means that we can enhance the meeting for those sitting remotely. And that's why I'm always saying that you need to build it in the room, because then it will also be a great experience for the people in the room or in that meeting space. But if you don't have the money or the time, or it might be in another department, then we can add that technology to the system. And that will enhance the meeting for the people sitting remotely.
And it's so important to do that because it's quite relaxing meeting a person like this in real life. But it's really hard to meet someone digitally, especially with bad tech. If the audio is, chopping out or, being all that, or just background noises and everything, it's really hard to concentrate. And then I find myself a lot of the times trying to I focus on not listening on those things and just miss the point.
Exactly.
And I get tired. And then especially also with the when cameras are bad or something like that, then my eyes try to focus, and then I get tired.
Exactly. I think that's really an important thing. I mean, meeting fatigue, that's something that we probably have all tried, because we have like it seems like back in the days we had meetings and then we had some time to walk to the next meeting room, or we might need to drive there. But now it's just we are able to do back-to-back meetings. And like during the pandemic, it was sitting like 6-7 hours a day in Teams meeting.
I had a colleague who had a name for those days. diaper days.
Diaper days. Yeah. But I mean, our brain is getting fatigued when we don't have good audio. We need to concentrate on listening. And I mean, audio is the most important thing. But of course, also getting a nice video feed is also really important.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that's really important. We need to think about how can we make it as relaxed as possible to have our meetings. And adding that features is like really important. I mean, especially now, we need to make sure that people have, we could say the best equipment, but I would rather say they have the best experience.
Yeah, true
That could be by equipment. That could be like with a couch like this.
Yes.
And also thinking about that, we need to start and try stuff out because we don't have the golden rule. Microsoft doesn't either. But we need to think about getting started, try stuff, and then we might need to change it.
Yeah, I think it would be like, I would love to live in a reality where we put 10% of our time to test new things, 10% of, our facilities to test new things, and always do that. Because it's also like, if you don't take any risks, you take one big risk. Instead of taking the small risks. So, because it's like, there is no, as you say, like, we don't even talk about best practices anymore. We talk about good practices. Because we don't have time to figure out the best practices, because when we do, they're old.
They're gone.
They're gone.
They're too old.
It was just like, that was too long ago. Yeah. So, but then we need to have stuff that can be remotely updated and all of these things.
I would just say so another part is, of course, the video feed. So that's also important. And having that camera that just captures everyone in a meeting room, that could be perfect in some occasions. But it could also be that there's sitting one person on each side of the table, and then we have like a lot of space in the meeting room or in the video feed that we're not really using. And when we sit next to each other, I can easily see how you're reacting to stuff.
Yes.
But it can be complicated when we sit in at home and we have the video feed from a meeting, where people are really small. So like all vendors are working with this about getting people closer, not because the camera can do it, but basically because it makes it more equal. So we have that option of actually taking people closer. So Microsoft call it IntelliFrame. We call it something else. Other vendors do call it other stuffs as well. But basically, we're just trying to move people a bit closer to us so we can actually see how they react to what we are saying. So when Microsoft talk about IntelliFrame, they basically have three different things that they can do. They have the manufacturer that can do it on the camera. And then in the other end, Microsoft can do it in the cloud. And then the third step is then we can do multi-stream. So instead of just capturing people and put them together in one video feed, when then Microsoft is ready and open for it, then we would be able to send each person in their own video feed. And that means that we will get that experience that Microsoft have been showing for quite some time about front row. So I think that's a really good thing that we're going to that point. But I think the one thing that is really important to think about is that the difference between us as a manufacturer doing on the camera compared to how Microsoft will do it in the cloud. So I tried to do like a virtual thing of this because we have like a lot of data to work with because we have all the data from our sensors. So in this case, I took one of our cameras that have a 20 megapixel sensor. So we have a lot of data. And if Microsoft is working on it, we have, as of now, 1080p, so a 2K resolution. And we want to make sure that when we capture persons and send them off as each individual in a video feed, we want to make sure that we do it in a high quality because that's what people are expecting. So thinking about how can we make a high image quality, we need a lot of data to do that. Except we could just take the picture and then stretch the picture. Like in the good old days, taking a picture with a phone and then we want to do a big poster, you could see that easily.
Yeah.
And that's basically what Microsoft needs to do because they don't have that much data. So they will kind of stretch the image if they want to provide a high resolution picture of a single person. So I think that's really important to think about. Should we choose a vendor that can actually do it on the camera?
Yeah.
Or should we buy another camera, or should we use the existing equipment? I think the good thing is that we can actually have the experience, but we just need to think about, are we expecting really high quality? Then we need to do it on the camera itself.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's really hard. Like if the camera isn't good, then nothing is going to make it better.
No.
You can't really just stretch it out. Because this situation right here, I know how to handle this. It's the 3 dots and fit to frame, right? Then I'll see the entire room, everything that is around everyone, and still like, no.
No, it's not always good.
No, it's not.
Definitely not.
It's a really bad experience.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard. I have these kind of meetings all the time, and like I work from home and I work with different companies, and then I'm the head on the wall.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting in the same room, and I just see small people at the back, and I can't really hear what they're saying, and it's cutting out.
Yeah.
It makes it very hard to have a good meeting, and it always leaves me when I go like, oh well, see you next week, and then just leave, and I'm like, oh god, now I need to go do something else.
Yeah, I think that's another point. I mean, of course, you could build like Microsoft signature rooms, like the front row rooms. That would be a great experience, but we might not have the budget to do that in all rooms. But a simple thing, just like turning the table, fronting the screen, that means that we will actually start to talk more with the people sitting remotely.
Yeah,
it's really simple to do. Doesn't cost you anything. Simply just turn the table. That would make it a lot easier for the camera to capture you. You will speak in the direction of the microphone, so it will be easier for us to actually capture the audio.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not necessarily every time that we need to go and invest a lot of money, but basically just think about how can we change the meeting room.
No.
If the audio is not good in a meeting, bring in a couch.
Yes.
Like soft materials, things that we can do like in a different way. We don't always need to go and buy new equipment, but we can do a lot of stuff like.
Yes. I had another guest here. We were talking about, of a floor and the ceiling and, carpets. Bring in fabrics. The fabrics are really good. A couch is always good.
That's
I would
good,
like to have a couch in every room in the office.
We should have.
We should have, Well, like therapists, be like, yes, lay down on the couch. Tell me your problems.
But I also think that we have different work styles, and we need to support all different kind of work styles. And I think like one thing is to sit at a meeting table. That could be one kind of a meetings.
No.
But it will always be a more relaxed meeting if we were sitting in a couch. That simply does a different thing for us.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know about you Danish people, but do you have the fika? Do you?
No, we don't have that.
You don't have the fika?
No.
Oh, I'm offended. Do you know that today is the cinnamon roll bun day here in Sweden?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real.
I saw some huge announcement in the city about cinnamon buns.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Okay, so now we're over time again, but you have the last slide with a QR code where we can get something from you. What is that?
Yeah, I just wanted to share. I mean, I like to share information. That's a big part of my not my role at my job, but it's just a thing that I like to do. So I created a YouTube channel. So if you like to see like short videos of Teams related stuff, that could be either me telling about a new Teams feature. It could be new stuff in meeting rooms. And I do also host like a talk show with Teams. So every now and then we send out videos, and that's more like we're doing now, a discussion in a couch about Teams related stuff, and mostly about meetings or how we communicate with each other.
Yeah.
So not too deep into how the technical stuff is in Teams. It's more like a daily conversation amongst people that are in in that space of meeting rooms and
Yeah.
teams.
So like how we use tech to do real stuff and not just tech for tech, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. This has been amazing. So a big applaud, everyone, for Lars.
Thank you.